It is On Point Live. I'm Michael Horn, along with the stars of our show, two iconic Hall of Fame great football legends. We're talking about Vince Ferragamo, number 15, led the Rams in Super Bowl 14. And then Jackie Slater, number 78. This guy, the four-time NFC Offensive Lineman of the Year, Hall of Famer, the one and only Jackie Slater. Welcome, gentlemen, to your show.
Good to see you.
As we got a lot to talk about this week. Basketball, we got some football points, and before the show, we were warming up, and we heard coming out of the dressing room from Jackie Slater.
What was he doing?
Some great.
Just telling you about Brother Lord. Just telling you about Brother Lord when he barks out his famous song, Surely.
He was singing a song, Surely,
That's
S-U-R-E-L-Y.
Surely.
Give us a little bit.
Surely, he is able.
He's incredible. And for those of you that don't have our On Point Live podcast video, he's smiling when he does that. He's we got a
Brother Lord
we got a
famous.
trio here. I'll just do the announcing. You're going to play.
I'll accompany him.
You got the
I got the
guitar.
chords. I get the guitar. Next time I'll bring it.
Yeah, that's good. So very good discovery.
Thank you very much.
How's your guys' week going? Now you're just recovering, Vince, of course, from being in Italy and having a great.
Needs to relax a little bit more because it's just.
If he says that one more time, how bloated he is and how much food he ate,
I was looking at your gut over there. You need to cut back too.
I heard his gut. It was singing earlier. I was like, surely no more pasta, please. It was great.
I mean, Vince is talking about it. The pasta he ate, like he ate a whole big plate of pasta.
Well, hey, I'll tell you,
lamb.
Jody last night made a beautiful
Your lovely wife, Jody.
orchietti pasta with pesto and then some pomodoro on top. Oh my God, was it so good? I told her it's the best she ever made.
The dog for the last week for overeating, and all he's talking about is Jody
and
making
then
some
fried
icky.
chicken and some olive oil.
Fried chicken and look at it.
Jackie, we
It's
didn't
a
even
wonder
get.
that he's not as big as I am.
We did not even get our share of the Harmony cheese. Vince took it all home. Did you get yours?
Absolutely.
Harmony cheese.
I was grating that
No, I
Parmesan
did.
cheese
I
on
got it.
top
Look
of that spaghetti. Oh my God!
You know,
that
too much
orchietti.
grating. By the way, too much cheese grating by you.
man,
You need
and
to do
some
more.
red hot pepper.
You need to take it off in chunks.
Hey,
and put it on some crackers or something. You do too much cheese grating.
But I like it grated.
my cheese grating is AA for HarmonyCheese.com. Our sponsor, they got a new website. Look at all the cheeses they got. This Parmesan Abergelli over here. We got some new stuff. I like the beer cheese and I like the bourbon.
Yeah, you like the bourbon beer?
cheese.
Yeah, I like that too.
Cheddar.
Check it out at HarmonyCheese.com. Don't forget to check out our site here, OnPointLive.net. Subscribe to On Point Live with Vince and Jackie at
What
our
about those
YouTube
cheese
channel.
curds?
Instagram
What'd you do with the cheese curds?
on.point.live. And don't forget to email us onpoint@crntalk.com. They're arguing cheese. We got to take a break and eat something here. OnPointLive.net. All right, we'll be back. Stay with us. Welcome back to On Point Live. I'm Michael Horn, along with the stars of our show, Vince Ferragamo, Jackie Slater. We didn't have time last week to really get into it, but as we tape this show for you this week, 2 games have been played in the NBA Finals. By the time we come back next week, 4 games will be played. So we got plenty of time to talk about our thoughts about the finals here between Indiana and Oklahoma. And let's start with you, Jackie. You've been watching some of these games. What do you think? What do you see so far in these two clubs meeting on the court? The series is tied 1-1 right now.
Well, the thing that jumps out at me more than anything else is the way OKC deports itself on not just the offensive end of the court, where they're featuring the league's top scorer and MVP, SGA, but also the way they play defense. If you notice, every time a rebounder gets a ball and he drops that ball below his waistline, you're going to see 2 or 3 guys from OKC going after that basketball. Mm-hmm. They play defense aggressively with their hands, trying to take the ball, and the turnovers they're creating, and that's what helps them stay way ahead of their opponents as the game goes along.
Vince Ferragamo,
Yes.
your thoughts?
Well, I agree. I agree that the turnover ratio has been in favor of OKC because they had 25 turnovers, resulting in 11 points only in the first game. That's probably the reason why they lost. If they would have cashed in more on those turnovers, it wouldn't have been that close. But to watch the game develop and to watch the role of all the players stepping in from the bench. You got Alex Caruso coming in. Jackie and I both commented about Aaron Wiggins coming in and making 18 points in the last game, and then Caruso's 20 points. That's 38 points for 2 players. And then when you have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the MVP of the league, and then with the Twin Towers below, Holmgren, the way he's playing, shooting threes from the outside, driving to the
Blocking
basket,
shots,
doing everything. And then when he comes out, Hartenstein comes in, big, powerful, low body, down in the paint, and you can't drive.
They can run.
Yeah, they all can move, and they're young, Mike. They're just, it's just amazing how long they've kept the lead in both these games.
So we got the Thunder. We can hear it erupting here during the games. Let's go to game one because you were very vocal, Vince Ferragamo, that game. Indiana came from behind, sort of 111 to 110, 1 point. But you were disappointed on maybe not as much camaraderie, seeing the excitement from Indiana on winning that game. What was the deal?
Well, when Halliburton hit that final shot, my comment would be this. I looked at the reaction of the entire team. Okay, and if it was me playing in that game or any football game and you make that last touchdown at the last minute of the game or the last seconds, everybody's jubilant. They're all excited. They're in favor of each other. They're backing one another. I didn't see that reaction. And so that turned me off. And I'm saying, gosh, this doesn't happen all the time. They hadn't had the lead the entire game. Except for 0.3 seconds in the game. The guy makes a great shot.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great shot, and there was a lot to be excited about. An emotional response needed to have been occurring, and it did. You know
in
what?
Your eyes, it might have, but not in my eyes. Not what I perceive.
You know what that shock was?
What?
It was sheer shock and amazement that it failed and they were winning the game.
But that
because
shock
they
is
lost
gonna...
that game. They lost that game from the opening bell until that shot was made.
That's correct.
They lost that game, and they knew that game was, and they were shocked.
So they were all defeated. They felt defeated,
and
they didn't want to celebrate. I'm ready to celebrate because I know we're going to win the game. Every time I play a game, I'm going to win.
Surprise might be a good
which
term,
leads us to why they easily were dominated in the second game. They were easily dominated in the second game simply because they figured out this. Halliburton's strength is not his quickness, not his elusiveness, not his the ability. He hit a lot of close shots and at a high percentage like SGA does.
Right.
His strength is methodically bringing the ball down the court, running plays, looking at fallacies, looking at weaknesses in the defense, and getting the ball to people that can shoot. Okay, well, you see what they did. The thing that I like about the OKC team is they have specialists in every area where you can have a strength. They put Dart on Halliburton and made him work his way down the court every single step he made. And so that meant that he had to make decisions that were based on a hurried-up approach to the basket.
Right.
And I think that is one of the key reasons why we're going to see Indy fall to OKC here.
And too, Jackie, OKC is multidimensional, okay? Because when you can shoot primarily threes really good, that's not sustainable every game. You can't shoot 60% three-point shots all the time.
That's right.
It's just not going to happen. So OKC understands that. They said, okay, and then they just shrugged it off. That first game, we should have won this game. No big deal. We're going to come back and show them.
Right.
And, I've been impressed with the fans in OKC, too.
They
all
show up.
wear the same.
They show up in mass.
So game two was a little more of a runaway, 123 to 107. The Thunder beating the Pacers. So you think that Oklahoma is more of a cohesive team that's playing as a group that would be cheering when they win at the end? Is that what you're saying?
Well, they have the
Ferragamo?
MVP of the league. I mean, they can win in all different ways. They have the best defense in the league. They're young. They're youthful. They're resilient. They keep playing. They play great off the bench. It doesn't matter who comes in. They're even just as strong off the bench as they are starting five. So there's no way I can see them losing this series.
They got utility special people that has a special job to do. I think Hardenstein's job is to beat up anybody's big, get in there and try to get rebounds on the offense and defensive end. And I think the Dart's job is to hound the playmakers. Don't let the playmakers just meander down the court and then pass the ball to open guys without being taxed. And I think that's going to continue to be a key measure that Gecknock uses the remainder of this series.
You mentioned a coach. You guys play with a lot of coaches when you were with the Rams. You're Mark Dagnall. You got your Indiana Pacers ready to go. How do you get them up for this game? Let's start with you, Jackie. What do you have to do to get them ready for this series?
You got to address all the facts, I think, Vince. Yeah. When I played basketball and we got ready to play Hattiesburg, where they featured Eugene Short, who was the first-round pick of the New York Knicks back in 1975. They said, we can't let this guy shoot the basketball, in the paint. We got to keep him out of the paint, Jack. You got to bump him. I want you to bump him. I want him out of the paint. I want him shooting anywhere out of the paint. Mm-hmm. And that was our goal. And that was the closest we ever came to beating Hattiesburg, by doing objectives like that. I think that what they need to say is we got to pressure Halliburton. We got to rebound on the defensive end. We got to rebound on the offensive end, and we got to go for steals. We got to take the ball, make them turn the basketball over like we've done, and we're going to continue to have success.
And on the other side, Indiana Pacers
Rick
too.
Carlisle.
Rick Carlisle,
yeah.
he's done a great job keeping the team together, and they're resilient. And it's been through his coaching ability to keep the team poised to make the shot.
You're talking about Oklahoma now, right?
I'm talking about the Indiana Pacers, how they won game one. And your question was, how are they going to stay abreast and keep pace with the fast OKC team? And it's just like Jackie says, it's a team effort. I mean, the coaching is going to have to be integrated in this system and just play within the way we play the game. Yeah. Play one-on-one basketball, because there are so many different threats from OKC. They can beat you so many different ways.
A lot of matchups.
You're just going to have to
Indiana
play
beat
one-on-one.
the Knicks. And Jackie, did you tell the Knicks that they lost? Because I think they're still showing up for more games.
Well, Knicks are the proud organization. You show up and play well there, either for them or against them, then that's where you make your name.
You feel strongly about this. You've been pounding away. Okay, so Rick Carlisle, Oklahoma, he's got an easier job because his team is so good, or has he built this team to be the cohesive unit?
Well, OKC with Dagnall, they're tough to beat, Mike. They're just so talented. They're talented in every which way. They're talented physically. They're talented with size. They got twin towers.
Don't you
two
like
guys over 7 foot
they
tall?
They can match up with what you bring to the table.
Whatever it is,
they got
Jackie.
a piece, utility piece for everything.
They won how many games this year, Jackie?
68 games.
68 games.
So what are you thinking? Indiana got a choice here? Whatever.
No,
Somebody stick their
Indiana's
neck out.
going to try to stay with them. It's like a race, okay? They're going to try to stay with them, and then at the fourth quarter,
stick your neck out. What do you think?
I think that Indy is done. I think they're done. I think OKC.
So that's it.
They're going to win this thing in 5 or 6 games. But I think
Indiana
it's
is done.
I'm in agreement.
You're going that
How
route.
are they going to beat OKC? You can't tell me how they beat them.
Well, a couple of games before our next show. We'll see what goes on over there. In the meantime, email us your thoughts with these guys being very defiant here and feeling strongly about Oklahoma. Email us onpoint@crntalk.com, onpoint@crntalk.com. Don't forget to get some cheese. Watch the games with harmonycheese.com. Order it up. It's delicious. These guys love it. Mr. Parmesan, he's chopping some up right now. We'll be back with On Point Live. Thanks so much for joining us. Welcome back to On Point Live. I'm Michael Horn, Jackie Slater here, Vince Ferragamo. I want to thank some of the emails we've gotten in asking about my high school sport that I played. I was on the Verdugo Hills tennis team for many years, and we didn't have a very strong team. It was kind of weak. We would lose 6-love, 6-1. And so I took on the job and you guys would probably agree with me, and this is a true story, as the tennis manager, and I wrote the finals for the local newspaper, the Record Ledger, and I would say Vince Ferragamo played and he won one big game. And then I'd say Jackie Slater, man, it's 3 games. And he had lost like 6-2, 6-1. Vince got 6-0, 6-1. And the guy said, I think that reporter doesn't know how to report tennis. Damn straight I didn't, but I was able, to make the team. They kept going to the coach saying, you guys are doing a great job this year. The guy won 3 games.
It sounds better after you describe it.
Let's look at the French Open. They was a little bit better than we were in
wow, no kidding. You see those matches, Mike?
Wow. No, I didn't. I should have watched these games, but you guys were looking at them. You weren't you, Vince?
My wife really loves tennis, and she thought it was one of the best matches she's ever seen. And going back a few years with Federer and Nadal, I mean, those were some great matchups too.
My way in to get a dinner invitation
to
the house. I'll tell her I'm a tennis player.
Alcaraz and Sinner, 1 and 2, Jackie.
Yeah,
they were the 1 and 2 in the.
Well, they had the 1 and 2 of the women in golf in Sabalenka,
exactly.
And they had 1 and 2 of the men as well.
And Jackie,
Alcaraz and
the men's finals went 5.5 hours.
I know.
Amazing.
Can you believe what kind of shape do you have to be in?
You have to be in
that way. But Alcaraz made some unbelievable. Do you see the way they went for the ball at the net? and just lag it, just
Yes,
drop
just
it, and
drop
then,
it in,
then the
teardrop,
defender
like a
come and get
teardrop.
it, and he hits it back, and then you return it again. I mean,
I'm
You know,
telling
the
you,
thing that
that's
jumped
some-
out at
some
me,
amazing
and,
stuff.
you know, was that Carlo Alcaraz was
Yes.
down 2 sets.
Come from behind.
Exactly.
He was down 2 sets, and then he came back
3 tiebreakers.
and had 3 tiebreakers in the fourth set. Was that the fourth set?
Fourth set, he was behind, and he came back with tiebreakers.
That's unbelievable.
If he loses that, it's over.
That is really a display, in my opinion, of mental willpower, focus, and then also being technically sound. This guy was making shots. His feet had to have been 5 feet apart. He was stretched out to a limit. He made those shots, got back in position, played defense as center tried to pop the ball over there and get him out of position. He just looked like a guy that was in charge of every situation that came up in that match.
And both players have respect for one another, Jackie. They know how talented each one of them are. And when they play, there was no excuses.
No excuses.
You know, when the game was over, it's over. I mean, you lay everything out on the court.
Right.
So you don't,
How do you prepare for that food-wise? Like as a tennis player, volleyball, hockey player, basketball, football. What do you guys do the night before? Do you eat something
You
special?
got the carbo load.
You carbo load, is that right?
You got the carbo load. That's what I used to do.
Yeah.
I can't speak for Vince and
Did
the
you
quarterback.
do the carbo or Parmesan
Well,
load?
you know, a good source of carbohydrates is pasta, okay? So
Yeah,
you
right.
eat a little pasta
and
the
that's
night
true.
before.
And that's
But
true. And they
many
always
calories.
serve that
But
in our
hey,
pregame meals.
don't
pasta.
forget to bring your Gatorade jug.
Don't forget to bring
because
your
you
Gatorade
need to
jug.
drink a lot of fluids and
You can
keep
drink-
going, you know.
Well,
it's
see,
'cause
I was always, because I don't, maybe it was just because I was the 300-pound person that had to deal with other 300-pound men. The idea of eating light and showing up, unsure of where your counterbalances were in your stomach and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That didn't work for me. I needed to feel full. And if I moved, I needed to feel things going
This is
in
only for linemen,
different
okay?
directions.
See the way he's
only
moving?
for
I
linemen.
need to feel
He
things
still
going in
got it.
different directions so I know that I got the counterbalance.
Your friend,
I got the
Bringing back
anchor.
and
You got to
forth.
be able to anchor.
Fred Dreyer, your buddy there on the Rams. I mean, that guy ate salmon all the time. He was but he ate about 3 of them. If you ever go to
Fred
dinner
was
with
an
him,
oddity. Fred was an oddity.
really?
Yeah.
Fred weighed 222 pounds.
I
That's
know.
about 6'6".
Yeah.
Defensive end, 222 pounds. That doesn't make it in National Football League. Back in those days now, when he was running by Big
Jack-
John Williams and Doug France,
Yeah.
that's a different type of body build that he's
We were
going
in
against.
Hawaii.
You know what they use guys like Fred to do now?
What?
Drop in coverage. Cover backs out of the backfield.
That's right. Elusive.
And then on occasion rush the passer. They don't ask them to do it exclusively.
This is how light Freddie was when we played. We were played in the super teams. Remember after we won the Super Bowl? We went to the Super Bowl, Pittsburgh. We're playing the Steelers in a tug of war. We're in super
it's
teams
on
in
TV.
Hawaii.
Well, I
Okay.
know you lost
And
that.
we had 6 guys. You had a limit of 2,000 pounds.
Yeah.
Okay. 6 guys. They disputed the fact that we were overweight because they only had 5. They had Big Mike Webster. They had a bunch of guys up there pulling, and we beat them. We pulled them across the line because we had 6 people pulling against 5. So they disputed
But it
it.
was
So we
because
went to the room to the weight,
Oh, and you
and
weighed
Freddie got on the scale. Guess how much he weighed?
199.
210 pounds.
Yeah,
He
he
was
was.
And they thought, well, Freddie Dreyer's like, defensive end. He's 280 pounds.
Yeah.
210.
210.
He was
But that's what the offseason.
a wee little man was he.
Yeah.
Well, he's
Fred-
tall, man.
Yeah,
And
but
those
he's
hands,
rangy. He's tall,
he could
rangy,
crush anything with
and
those
he's
hands.
shifty.
Just like you guys. Got
He's
to have those
very,
hands.
very shifty. He knows how to make you use your own big body against yourself.
Yeah, he would look on he always say, look on the sidelines during TV breaks and look on the opposing side to see if it was a long meeting between the coach and the quarterback or short. If it was a long meeting, he figured it was a pass. If it was a short, it was going to be a run, and he would try to guess the plays. You guys do that? Just kind of look around?
No,
Yeah.
He'd
never
walk
had to-
across the line of scrimmage and listen to the quarterback try to call the play.
That
too.
would be that's a good one.
Never had
That's
to-
even
Wink
better.
at him.
Vince.
Wink
That's
at him.
even-
Yeah.
Never had to do that. And
Yeah.
Terry Bradshaw got on Leroy for doing it one time.
All right, so let's
We can't say what Terry said.
and Coco Gauff and Arna Sabalenka. That was a good match as well too.
Once
huh?
again, that was 1 against 2.
Yeah,
And
Coco.
Sabalenka, quite frankly, she was, you could tell she was a bigger, stronger person. She kept complaining about the wind conditions being a problem. Said it was the worst wind conditions, and she was saying that in tears because she knew that Coco Gauff had displayed some of the people who looked at the match they said that she displayed great courage and great persistence and would not be denied. I mean, they talked more about those internal attributes to an athlete more so than they did about her, her physical attributes. And I just thought that was really interesting for a girl that young, first of all, to be ranked as high as she is, but then to take out the number one ranked lady in the world, and she stayed in there with her. I mean, that was impressive.
It's the first time in 10 years, too, since 2015, that when Serena Williams won the French Open, an American won the French Open.
Right. It's been
and so that's a
long.
great tribute to her ability to stay involved in that game, because Sabalenka was a great player, strong player, but she was defending every shot, and she, persistence prevailed.
This is what was really interesting. Relative to all of the prognosticators, they said golf capitalized on Sabalenka's inconsistent play, which she blamed on the wind conditions. She has 70 unforced errors, Vince.
Yeah.
And she said that Coco Gauff, leaning on her patience and defense in the tough conditions, is what made the difference.
All right, speaking of tough conditions, let's go to Pittsburgh, because we got some tough conditions there.
My.
Apparently, the quarterback controversy is over. Aaron Rodgers is officially signed with the Steelers. He is a new home. It's a big off season. People have been speculating about it. The deal is worth up to $19.5 million, with $10 million guaranteed and $13.65 million base. This came to us from the NFL Network. Last season, Rodgers, what did he? A total like 38 to 97 passing yards, 28 passing touchdowns, 11 interceptions, a 90.5 passer rating. Completed 63% of his passes. They were 5-12 with the Jets last year. All right.
Yeah, forget what he's done last year. Okay, look,
what's
he's
he
going to
gonna
be
do
41 years old, but I think this is a great choice for Pittsburgh.
Wait a minute.
Okay, you want
wait a minute.
All right, you go first. Go ahead. I'll tell you the reason
think
why.
this is a great choice?
This is a great choice for
You're
Pittsburgh.
kidding me, Vince.
What?
You and I played with a guy that tore his Achilles tendon. We're not talking about a joint here where you can repair.
That was 2 years ago.
Up. We're not talking about Vince. We're talking about a 40-year-old guy who ruptured a tendon. A tendon is not a muscular. It is tendon. You can't
Jackie
heal.
played all last year.
You have to have a
he
great.
didn't come up lame all last year. He's
But I
already
mean,
been through
it's
that.
not as if Pittsburgh has gone and shored up his offensive line where they're going to be shutting down everybody that rushes the passer against him. That's not going to happen. He's going to get hit.
You want to know his weapons?
He's going to have to move, and
He's
if he
got
doesn't
weapons.
move, he's going to get sacked. And
Hey,
if he gets sacked too often, he's going to blow that Achilles
Tom Brady
out again,
wasn't moving
and he's going to be
around.
on the sideline like he has been for the last 2 years.
Tom Brady wasn't moving around. He won 6 Super Bowls. Ben Roethlisberger won Super Bowls. He wasn't moving around. Okay, let me tell you his weapons he's got. He's got Robert.
I didn't know we had Terry Bradshaw here on the bench with us here with Jackie Slater. But go
Wait,
ahead, Don.
okay,
Go ahead.
you can tell me what Terry Bradshaw
No, you go ahead.
Well, all right. So, but I think they were waiting the whole time because it was the best choice for Pittsburgh. Okay, they did. I'll tell you, it's a twofold situation. He's an experienced quarterback, MVP coming into this team. He's got weapons now. He's got Robert Woods. He's got DK Metcalf. He's going to have Metcalf run. He's going to tell him, you're going to run 3 routes for me. That's it. Run a slant, run a go, and run a quick screen. That's it. He doesn't have to think about anything else. This is a big target. He's going to make it happen. Robert Woods is going to be his possession receiver. He's got Kenny Gainwell in the backfield to run routes on third down. That's great. He's got Jalen Warren as a good running back. He's got Caleb Johnson from Iowa, a running back drafted first round. Now, they drafted Will Howard, in the 6th round, another Tom Brady draft. It's good because now he's got to learn from Aaron Rodgers. Who better to learn from? And this is a double win for the Steelers. They're going to be good. They're deep. Look, they don't have any coaches. Arthur Smith's going to be offensive coach. But it's going to be run by Aaron Rodgers, and that's what they do well.
We're going to have to hold this one over because I don't think Jackie's buying a word you said, and I don't think you're buying a word
you watch.
he said. But I'm going to solve it when we
10
come back.
or more wins in the playoffs and beyond.
Terry Bradshaw may have the final word. We'll tell you what he said about it. Get your comments. We're getting ready for the NFL season already. Can you believe it? On OnPoint Live, these two are, look at, they're going at it. He might break into a Courtness of Shirley here pretty quick. We'll take a break. When we come back, want to remind you, Harmony Cheese is our sponsor and tell you about some of the great new cheeses they got. Check it out at harmonycheese.com. Subscribe to OnPoint Live. It's our podcast. You can get it video podcast with Vince and Jackie. And don't forget our website, onpointlive.net. Email us any comments at all, onpoint@crntalk.com. Again, it's onpoint@crntalk.com. We'll be back with more On Point Live. Michael Horn, Vince Ferragamo, Jackie Slater, right here on CRN, the Competition Radio Network. Welcome back to On Point Live. I'm telling you, the show is starting to heat up in studio. I'm Michael Horn, getting the hot seat. Jackie Slater, Vince Ferragamo. And before we get to there, we have to take a little bit of time to talk about our good sponsor, HarmonyCheese.com. Now, Vince, you've been lobbying for Parmesan. They have it. I believe it's been sent to you now. You're going to take some home.
Oh, yeah.
Going to do a little grating with it. What do you do with your Parmesan? Do you grate it all the time?
Well,
Jackie says you overgrate
Let
cheese.
me tell you, my wife made the best orchietti pasta last night.
Oh, boy.
Okay?
He always
Oh,
tells
my
us.
goodness.
And did you tell her I'm a tennis player? She might want to invite me over for dinner.
It was so good. It was so good. It had the the green sauce on it. But then on the tomatoes on top, and then the grated cheese on top of that with a little black pepper. I mean,
The Harmony cheese was great.
Wait a minute. You just came back from Italy. I thought you said you were sick.
I
from
know,
overeating.
but it was
Why are you
just.
sitting here telling us
Well,
about
it
something
wasn't
cheating?
in huge supply. It was just great, just the way it was.
Jackie,
I
set
thought
him
your
straight.
taste buds had gone bad after you.
This guy, Jackie Slater, if he was still playing
so
football, we'd call him Refrigerator Jackie because his refrigerator.
Pesto. I
has
was
been
thinking it's the pesto sauce.
re-
Okay, guys, it was phenomenal.
Jackie's refrigerator has been remade into a cheese display.
Oh,
with
I
all
just
that
have
beautiful
one-
green
I
grass
just have
there,
one
and
tray.
the packages of cheese there. I think he's reselling it on the side with
I
a
just
place
have,
of orange.
I just have one tray area there where I keep my
one tray.
Yeah, where
What's
I
in
keep
the
my
tray?
trays that Jerry sent. I got my abrigelli right there. I just got all my stuff is organized.
Yeah,
I
but
just don't just go
you don't have
grabbing it up and shredding it. I mean, I take mine out, get myself a knife, cut me off a chunk of it, get whatever I'm gonna
The
eat with it,
cheddar
and put it back
Merlot?
in there.
Cheddar
Yeah.
Merlot, no?
You don't have to shred cheese every time you eat
I'll
it.
tell you what, I was up in Los Alamos, California for a pre-Father's Day. My daughter took me up. There was a great time. There was a bakery there that made incredibly great sourdough bread with olives in
Oh,
it.
my goodness.
And you take that and you take Harmony cheese and you put that cheese with that sliced bread.
Yeah,
It's a picnic made in heaven.
that's right. You don't always have to have pasta, Vince.
Look at
Well,
you
don't.
are jealous.
Just
I
have a
saw
little
the look.
olive oil. I mean, with the cheese, it goes with. I mean, it just goes down so.
You can also
perfectly.
take a piece of cheese, drizzle a little bit of honey,
Yeah,
drizzle a
honey.
little bit of honey on it,
Thank you, baby.
and put it on eat it on a hot biscuit right out of the oven.
Yeah, you could.
Don't call me honey. Let me tell you a guy that needs some Harmony cheese. Sour Grapes Bradshaw. This Terry Bradshaw, who you guys face in the Super Bowl. Terry, get over with it. You were out touring with William Shatner. Go on another trip, relax, do something. He is, apparently they say, it's safe to say that Terry Bradshaw is not going to offer his old number for Aaron Rodgers to wear number 12, nor would Aaron Rodgers want it. Here's what Bradshaw says about the signing of Aaron Rodgers to his old alma mater, the Pittsburgh Steelers. He said, quoting now, "That's a joke." He said, "That is just to me is a joke. What are you going to do? Bring him in for 1 year? Are you kidding me? That guy needs to stay in California, go somewhere, chew on bark, and whisper to the gods out there." And then he said, "I like Kenny Pickett. I liked him at Pitt. I know him. I know what he's like. And when they got him to Pittsburgh, here's what they didn't do. They didn't protect him. They didn't get him an offensive line. They wanted to run the football, but they didn't have an offensive line that could protect, and they didn't have weapons. He had no wide receivers to speak of. And then they throw a kid in there for 2 years, and you've got an offense that doesn't fit, doesn't work. They can't run because their offensive line's not even good enough for a run-blocking team.
Wow.
And therefore, they say Pickett was a failure. He wasn't a failure. The Steelers were a failure.
Get over it.
Jackie Slater.
Them's fighting words. I mean, Terry Bradshaw, he's pulling no punches, man. See, he's telling it like it is, man.
He needs
First thing is, he's absolutely right. I don't care who your quarterbacks were, who your running backs were. You are not going to have any success unless you invest in your offensive line. And all you got to do is look at teams like Philadelphia and a few other teams around there and how they're investing money in their offensive line, and all of a sudden their production offensively is going up. The other thing that Terry Bradshaw noticed is this: when you lose games, the worst things about you
Show up.
And usually it has to do with injury at key positions. Now, I've seen guys have this injury that Aaron Rodgers has had. And this is an injury that, to me, can keep reoccurring because you didn't strain a muscle. You didn't tear a muscle where the blood supply is really, really good. You tore a tendon where the blood supply is associated with being close to the nearest big muscle group there. Now, that's the way I've always had it explained to me. There's a possibility that on a cold day in Pittsburgh, on turf there, that he goes out in warm-ups, boom, and snap loose a piece of that cartilage in that, and there he is again for 2 or 3 weeks.
Painting a bad picture.
So,
here.
I mean, I'm just saying, I played a lot of football, but I saw a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
And I saw a lot of people not get well from injuries, and this is one that I just –
Vince
luckily
Ferragamo.
he plays a position that doesn't require a lot of foot running ability.
quarterback.
He's in a
Offensive
quarterback.
line, he's
He
gonna
drops
have to
7
run.
yards. He doesn't have to drum 50 yards down the field. But I'm just saying that there was no better choice out there for the Steelers, and they knew it all along. Now, Terry is right about Kenny Pickett, but Kenny Pickett, get on with it. He's no longer with the team. So how is not getting Aaron Rodgers to come to help the team out? He's their best choice.
Wait a minute, you said something. I
Okay.
want you to explain
Yes, go ahead.
to me
All right.
why you think Aaron Rodgers is the best choice for the Pittsburgh Steelers at this moment.
Because first of
A
all,
team that plays defense and runs the ball.
they weren't going to invest in a rookie quarterback to step in and lead them to deep into the playoffs. That was out of their question. They pick a quarterback. They got Will Howard in the 6th round. They'll develop him down the road. Yes, he may develop, but he was their best existing player that was out there that could help them immediately. And now with what they've put on offense, and he's the type of quarterback, Mike, that doesn't require a sophisticated offensive game plan. He will adjust as he goes instinctively, and he will make the game plan as they move forward
say something
with
and
his
ask you a
players.
question?
But Vince, don't
There
you
is
need some
signs and
familiarity?
gestures that
Don't
they
you need
use.
some familiarity to be able to
He
do
will.
that? He
but
just
he's,
got there.
he's
How is he going to
experienced.
do that much?
He's experienced. He has experienced receivers. He's got Robert Woods. He's got DK Metcalf. He's got Freiermuth. He's going to make great strides with those guys. And then his running back, Gainwell, oh, my God.
Going
Come on.
down memory
He's got
lane,
tools to
I
work with.
recall something with you Rams here, Jackie Slater and Vince Ferragamo. 2 words, Joe Namath. That was your rookie year, wasn't it?
My
Did
rookie
you
year.
learn from the guy
I
when he
sure
was there?
did. I sure did. So it's a double win for the Steelers because now they can develop Will Howard because now he's got someone to look at, to model after, and become accustomed to how he operates. I looked at Joe and, just maybe in his huddle, how he conveys messages to the team, how he performs under stress, what's his reaction.
You
There's
talk about
so
a
many
guy,
things to learn.
He was small and weak at the later part, and now he's wearing those hearing aids. It's like they look like a pencil that goes in your ear. Let me tell you something.
Hey,
he
they work.
wasn't any great, in great shape kind of quarterback. They had to baby him there, but he played with you,
But
Jackie
he had a great
Slater.
offensive line to play behind.
Yeah,
That's
he had a
great thing.
pretty good offensive line,
that.
with the exception of the bit of time that I played in front of with my inexperience.
Oh, come on.
I almost got
That didn't hurt him one bit.
Joe Kill graveyard dead all by myself. Now I ain't gonna tell you no lie. I have to be honest about it.
It just damaged his hearing. It just hurt his hearing.
They was beating me like I stole the governor's mule over there on that side.
Jackie was shouting,
But the thing,
"Get up,
but the
get up." The ears went up.
thing that I
watch out,
remember,
watch out.
Yeah, watch out. But the thing that I remember more than anything else is the lack of mobility that Joe had at that particular time. Because as I said, he had one of his hamstrings that he could not even contract.
There you
I
go.
think
Right.
it
It
was
was
balled.
tied up.
It was balled up in the middle of his leg, where it had detached. I think in his gluteus area, and he couldn't even, lift that leg up off the ground to avoid pass rush. And so I'm hoping that we don't be seeing that with Aaron Rodgers, because that was an ugly thing, to see big guys falling on Joe, after they beat me and stuff like that. It was humbling. It was a very humbling experience to see him take a beating like that.
Well, I didn't want it to bring the whole show down here right now. But you learned from
I
watching him
learned.
get beat up
I
back there. You
grew.
realized what you had to do to protect.
Yeah, I did.
So once again, Joe was great for the team. So here's the thing: he's not going to probably be the scrambler, right? Because you're saying with the Achilles and all that kind of stuff. But yet The guy's smart. He's been around for a while. Maybe he's exactly what they need for this season because he can train the young kid.
Exactly. We didn't win a Super Bowl that year. Namath came. We won 2 years later.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a building process.
Yeah.
And the Rams have always been building their team over the years with Don Klosterman back in the day, and building from the ground floor up. And so I see the Steelers have a great defense. They're going to offensively now. They have a shot. With Aaron Rodgers, if he can relate well with his teammates, I think it could be a big plus for them, especially because they play the Ravens. They have to play Cincinnati. They have they have Cleveland. So I mean, that's the NFC North.
One other thing.
AFC North.
One other thing that we did not cover, and Vince pointed this out to me, and it was almost unbelievable when he said it. If you were to go and look at some of the top quarterbacks, Peyton Manning, on the way down the list, his brother, all the way down the list. Aaron Rodgers has thrown fewer interceptions than any of those guys. Yeah. This guy was averaging like
less than 6 interceptions a year.
Less than 6
for
interceptions
over
a year.
20 seasons.
Now, what that tells me is that this man knows what to do with the football.
Smart. I think it's smart.
I've never heard anybody say he had a weak arm.
Right.
So obviously
he does not throw interceptions.
That's
a great point.
It's going to be a great year for them. I think this could really surprise you. It's going to be very good.
What about J.J. McCarthy?
Yeah, what about him? What do you think?
Well, he's a young quarterback coming in, the whisperer there with his coach in Minnesota. But 25 touchdowns for a rookie quarterback?
They're thinking this guy is going to throw more touchdowns, 25.5 touchdowns, than all of the top 10 paid quarterbacks in pro football.
Matt Stafford, Justin Herbert, to name a few, right?
I don't know where you get off at making a prediction like that.
Well,
Trevor Lawrence.
They can say it all they want
There's
to
no
before
way
the season starts.
Just Matthew Stafford alone is going to throw more touchdowns.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's very true.
I don't really
what about
see.
your buddy Darnold?
The reason why they're looking at because he has Justin Jefferson, he's got Addison, he's got Hawkinson. He's got some threat receivers, some big time receivers.
Yeah, and he's got a couple pretty good tackles.
You still got some good tackles,
so the edge rushers won't be beating them up so bad. So all of that looks good. All of that looks good.
He's not a big guy, Jackie.
Yeah, I know.
He's not a real big guy.
Football question.
And he hasn't played a lot in the NFL.
No.
You guys played a lot of rivalries, San Francisco 49ers, Rams, et cetera, that kind of whole thing. So the Dodgers, baseball question, playing the Padres, big series. The Padre management is asking their fans not to sell their season tickets or not to scalp their tickets and give them to Dodger fans that want to drive down from Los Angeles to see the game in San Diego. They want to keep Dodger fans out because when you go to the game, there's as many people, maybe more, rooting for the Dodgers than there are for the Padres. What are your guys' feelings on that?
Hey, supply and demand. I mean, if the demand is high and you can get your price,
sell your tickets, right?
It's like real estate,
Yeah, once they sell the tickets, they're yours, right, Jay?
And then you can go to more games thereafter. That's only one series. There's only 3 games. They play 162
I hate to say this, but that problem is common in sports in Southern California.
Yeah.
In all sports.
Yeah.
Football, basketball, you name it. It's a common problem. And I think it has to do with so many people from all over the country who grew up watching their teams back east and in the South and the Midwest. They moved out here, and now they just get an opportunity to see their teams out here on the West Coast. And when they come out, boy, I'm telling you, the Giants fans, the Bear fans, you name them.
49er fans,
they're just trying to get their hands on tickets at whatever.
The Harmony
and
Cheese Green Bay fans. Watch out.
Come out and support their hometown team.
He played for the Packers. I don't know who he roots for when the Rams play the Packers. I don't see
Jordan
him for
Love
weeks.
will have more touchdown passes than J.J. McCarthy.
I think so, too.
We don't see Vince for weeks when the Rams play the Green Bay Packers. He goes into hiding. Same with Buffalo when they go and play there. All right, we're going to take a break, wrap things up here. It's OnPoint Live. Don't forget to get your Harmony Cheese. Speaking of Green Bay, they're in Wisconsin. That's the best place for cheese, harmonycheese.com. Make sure and check that out for you. That's their website, harmonycheese.com. And check us out at onpointlive.net. Email us onpoint@crntalk.com. Get these comments in for Jackie Slater and Vince Ferragamo. onpoint@crntalk.com. We'll be back with more. It's On Point Live. Thanks so much for joining us here on the show. We're back with On Point Live. I'm Michael Horn, Vince Ferragamo, Jackie Slater. In baseball, the Dodgers traded Chris Taylor, their utility guy, to the Angels, and he came onto the Angels to get more playing time. and he broke his hand now.
God, what
The guy's got bad
stroke of bad luck.
snake
That's a
bit.
bad
the
But
break.
Mike Trout's back for at least another month before something else
Well,
goes
Ron
Yeah.
Washington, we talked about him
Yeah, good
preseason.
manager.
I mean, he's doing really good. I mean,
know,
he's really encouraged the guys
I
to
know.
just play at a higher level.
I know, but encouraging Mike Trout through injury, I look at him and I'm thinking, this guy's got to be one of the best built baseball players I've ever seen. And
Yeah.
as soon as I say that, almost every year something happens.
gets hurt.
So
Takes
don't
him out of
say it
line.
anymore,
I'm
Jack.
gonna have to stop saying it.
We want
My
you
goodness.
to email us, everybody. Our email address is OnPoint, ONPOINT, at CRN, as in Competition Radio Network, CRNTalk.com. And we're going to select an email next week, and the one we select to read on the air, Vince is going to put together a Harmony cheese and a Vince Ferragamo wine pack and get it sent out. Am I right? Is that what we're going to do?
That sounds like
Corey?
a great idea,
Yeah.
Corey, because they're gonna whatever we receive, we're gonna pick out an interesting comment from one of our viewers out there,
Right.
Jackie,
Yeah.
and we're gonna give them some of your favorite cheese from Harmony Cheese.
Right.
We'll
Anywhere
give them a bottle of the
Especially,
Ferragamo wine.
whoever calls in and especially talks about, the superior comments that I'm making on different subjects.
Hi to our good listeners.
We
at
can make a judge of that.
WRMN 1410 in Chicago, taking out our show here on the weekends. They carry the White Sox, by the way. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
So anything you want to email us, these guys will answer it for you.
Yeah.
Go to OnPoint at CRNTalk.com. Make sure and put your name in there so we can contact you back on your email if you're indeed the winner. Should be good. And then maybe Jackie will take a couple of questions since he was so outspoken on who's going to win the NBA Finals, as well as Vince Ferragamo was too.
Yeah, well,
You got your
OKC.
Harmony cheese to take home with you this weekend, Jackie?
I'm all set. I'm all set, man.
All set to have some delicious cheese.
Yeah, I might even get his because his stomach
It's
is
in the refrigerator.
He ate too much over there when he was in
Yeah,
Italy.
and his wife Jody keeps making more pasta.
More
What a
pasta.
life this poor
That
guy's got.
Orchietti pasta,
Poor
oh,
guy.
so good.
So why don't you and I go over there and visit
That
Jody for a
cheese.
while, bring us some Harmony cheese.
Well, I've
Show-
Lord have mercy. I've had everything that he said. I've had it.
All right, don't forget,
At his
follow
house.
us, subscribe to On Point Live with Vince and Jackie on our YouTube channel, our website, onpointlive.net, Instagram, on.point.live. We put a lot of reels up there, so check it out, and email us, onpoint@crntalk.com. Don't forget our sponsor, harmonycheese.com, always good. And remember, when you're eating Harmony cheese, do as we always do. What do we always say?
Stay on point.